Alright guys, and we are back. We have the next game, and it is once again Stork. We have him up now against Sirius. It was the FXO player who won the Zerg versus Zerg match that we were mentioning earlier, and therefore we have Stork against Zerg. And let's talk a little bit, of course, about his opponent. Sirius just played recently in the GSTL, as you might know if you follow the team league. He's starting for the FXO team, and he has a record of 29% against Protoss. He has only a very small sample size though, with 21 games in total, 6 wins. The game that he played was against Jakji in the GSTL, and he lost to Jakji. He had a decent performance. He recently lost to Inori with 2-0 in the TSL4 qualifier. He was able to, well, at least win 2 maps in a best of 5 against Tassadar, who took the game. So Sirius is a player that has not been in Code A so far, if I am not mistaken. I have the statistics here in front of me, and he didn't play in Code A to my knowledge. So he's a Code B player. Had a few appearances in the team league, but so far not the greatest results. So definitely one of the, I would say, weaker opponents that Stork is going to face today if he proceeds through the bracket. But Sirius was able to win the Zerg versus Zerg against Czech, and we'll find out if now Stork is able to take him down here. And we talked about the bracket, of course, earlier a little bit. Let's have a quick look at who exactly he would face. The upper part of the bracket is currently containing Ragnarok, Supernova, and Classic Bata. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Not sure about all these names, especially, of course, the Blue Ball players and names that I might pronounce wrong. I hope you bear with me here. And yeah, we'll find out what maps are going to be played here. Let's see. Okay, I have no idea what that map's supposed to be. Yeah, I don't have any additional results except for this, what I just already told you. Game has started, and we are jumping into the first match. Map number 1 between Sirius and Stork. The WCS qualifier. The map, as you can see, is Daybreak. And here we go. To the top right of the map, we have the player for FXO. He is in Code B. It is FXOSirius. The Zerg was just able to defeat Czech, who starts for Team 8th. At the bottom left of the map, we have his opponent in the blue, the Protoss player. Samsung Khan. It is a Stork. Was able to defeat Startail Aphrodite in the last match. Now he's up in a Protoss versus Zerg. And he's starting on the low ground immediately with a pylon. So we'll probably have Stork here with an expansion very early on. I guess he's probably starting with his Forge before he starts the Nexus. And of course for Sirius, what we can expect here is a... Oh, actually is he... Yeah, he's only going for the oversupply. For a second I was really thinking that he might go for a very aggressive build here. But he will start it off with a spawning pool, gas loss, and then transition into hatch. Opening really standard. I would be surprised if we would see anything else out of the FXO player. Yeah, Wolf is back, his mic is not, and therefore, while Wolf is getting his audio fixed, we are having another look at what's going on here. Of course, Stork sends out his probe and has a quick look in the main base because he wants to know about the pool timing, and there it is. Spawning pool before hatch, no surprises here, and let's see how Stork reacts to it. He could actually open up with the Nexus first as well. He does not necessarily have to start with a Forge.
Yeah, it's starting to look like he's going to go for that Nexus first right now. Probe stole some minerals. It's continuing to be annoying. Ooh, will he actually get the hatch block, though? Yeah, he will. There's not enough minerals yet for that hatch. Very premature by Sirius going down there. But he's probably just going to send a second drone. Probe may pylon block here. Strong possibility. He's got enough minerals now. No, he's gonna relinquish the natural.
Yeah, he wants the Forge. He really wants the Forge and wants to be safe here. But Stork is definitely up against a little bit of a tougher opponent right now. I just talked about that Sirius is currently in Code B. Played a good match against Jakji in the GSTL, but didn't have too many appearances in the GSL League so far.
Yeah, Sirius is someone that I actually watched practice with QXC a lot back a long time ago. He also played a lot of practice matches with players from other teams. He's not one of these players like Galaxy who has never had his breakout performance. He's not a player that probably will ever become Code S. If he does, he is going to have to, really step up his skills. And some players are more talented than others, but I feel like Sirius is one of those great practice partners to have. He's a good player. He knows a lot of builds. He practices a lot. He trains hard. And, this is a cool stepping stone for Stork here. If you can beat this guy, then it's going to be pretty impressive. I mean, it's not going to be beating one of the best GSL players there's ever been, but it's a good stepping stone, You take out Aphrodite, moving up, take out Sirius, and then find out who your next opponent is.
Well, his next opponent, if he advances, is probably going to be a lot tougher. We have a few former GSL Code S players in this part of the bracket, so yeah, it's nice for him that he can just progress.
Yeah.
So the bracket is this. I don't have the results just yet, but one of the games I mentioned earlier is actually Supernova versus Ragnarok, so there's a high possibility that he's facing one of them.
Supernova, really, really good Terran. So underrated, I think. I can't believe he hasn't found a team yet. Maybe he's not looking, but
I'm very sure that he has a couple of offers, and
yeah, that's what I mean.
He's just currently negotiating
Exactly.
because yeah, he's a great Terran player, and I am really surprised that we have him teamless.
Yeah, well, he's being patient with how he figures that out. Something always to really respect.
Top
Third base for Sirius, and we'll see. We see +1 for Stork as well as Warpgate Research coming along. We've seen almost all Kespa Protoss players really love to put on this early 4 gateways with Zealots pressure, sometimes more than 4 gateways. Just always putting on the pressure on Zergs early on. None of them being, just kind of sitting back, being relaxed. That's not what we've seen so far.
The Overlord heading in now at 640, not scouting anything because so far Stork didn't. Oh, there they are.
He
the
shows
gateways.
it.
Yeah, he shows it. He's like, hey, have a look. 3 additional gates. This puts him up to 4 gateways. +1 attack is of course nearly done. And this map just evolves around how you are able to deal with the early gate pressure.
You're right. Killing that supply depot, neutral depot. Always a scary sound. Makes it seem like there's some sort of run by occurring. Now, the probe is even being shown. Stork is actually just being like, hey, 4 gateway pressure coming your way. You know where it's going to be. Make sure you got your roach on and maybe a spine crawler up. Don't make too many drones. And I would not be surprised if he actually does not really commit to this. He's already got Twilight Council finishing up at home. And he's trying to force units out of Sirius. There's a reason why he's not being sneaky about this.
I think so too. If he commits to this, it would be a little bit odd. On the other hand, we have now a series who, of course, has to be prepared. He's building drones now. He just completed another 9 drones, and he has 11 Zerglings, which is not a lot. He also doesn't spread his creep forward, and you can certainly see on the production tab that he is focusing on his economy quite a bit. But a lot of Overlords now coming in order to make sure that he's not supply blocked in case there's an attack. And here already for Stork, the Nexus, but spotted by the Overlord. So Stork is kind of posturing a bit on the map in order to scare his opponent, in order to make him believe that there's a 4-gate coming this way, as you already said earlier. Yeah. But his plan is just to secure this 3rd base. And this is an attempt that a lot of Protoss players from Brood War teams seem to... That's their approach apparently to the game right now, trying to take an early 3rd base. We've seen it yesterday too with basically every single Brood War Protoss.
Yeah. And I like this fake out. It's something that we've seen some GSL players like Genius do quite well in the GSL. This is pretty cool also with his Twilight Council timing. It means he gets +2 very fast. I mean, that is a really quick +2. It's going to be done before +1 for the Roaches is even halfway done. Blink is coming out here as well. He's now powering up these gateways. This is the scariest moment Stork may have to face. While his production is not really completely set up yet, he has not really been able to make the 3rd base pay off yet. But if he chases these Lings away and he gets another warp in or 2, he's going to be fighting against any pressure he faces. Now it's going to be 3 base against 3 base with good upgrades for Stork. This has actually really worked out exactly how he planned it.
And Sirius is just rallying units across the map. He wants to punish his opponent for taking the space. he's going for Zergling speed, Roach speed, +1 attack for his ranged units, and also for the burrowed movement. So he really wants to take him down right now, whereas Stork, of course, is just really trying to get these Immortals into the game. And this is something he needs. He needs something against the Roaches. Here they are, force fields decent.
Yeah, the Roaches do have Burrow and the Observers way out of position, as Legends highlighting. But here we go.
Observers on its way immediately. Sirius on the retreat.
Yeah, he's... This one Roach is like going the wrong way.
Run, Forest, run.
He like burrows next to the cannon. I'm like, oh, that doesn't work, man. Oh, wow. Look at how fast those hit points regenerate. Such a great unit designed by Blizzard.
This Roach just won a medal. Fastest Roach ever.
I mean, that Roach actually should have been a football player or something, or maybe
this is the Roach runner.
Track runner, yeah, something.
And here comes the attack. A few units at the natural. At the same time, the third is being attacked. He takes down the cannon. He wants to get rid of the detection. And now he's moving in at the natural, taking down the forge. Really well done so far by Sirius. This guy is not messing around. He means serious business here. Yeah. Walking into the main base now. And Stork splitting his army very well. But this might still be a little bit too much for him to handle.
Yeah, he splits well, and he's lost a lot. The problem for Stork is that Sirius already kind of remade most of his Roaches. He's going to lose almost all of these, but the damage he's done is quite critical. He killed the Forge, which will allow him to eventually catch up with his own +2. And he's killed so many workers here. I wish I could see the count. Probably at least 12. Oh, well, actually, we'll say 31.
Yeah, he's killed a lot more. Most of the workers in the main base are gone, and also at the third. Now, finally, Stork moving into the main base. The Nexus is not going to fall here, but the amount of workers that he has lost, I thought, is really significant.
Yeah, I knew he lost most at the front, at the main, but I didn't know how many he lost at the third. It turns out a lot.
Sirius just makes good on the fact that Stork does not have a lot of detection in this game, and the Samson can't play now with additional observers as he realizes what this biggest problem is. But he's going to lose another set of Stalkers, and also the one sentry, and he might actually... No, he's not losing his Nexus, but this was actually really close. In the main base, once again, a few Roaches, they just try to escape, but this is really tough for the Protoss player.
Guardian Shield. He's like, you will not touch me with your... He's like running away so fast. He's like, I hope he doesn't chase me. And Stork's like, don't touch my units. He puts up a Guardian Shield. He's like, you will not pass. And Sirius on the retreat, he's like, it's shall not. And also, I'm not attacking you.
The problem for Sirius, though, is that he is basically... He's a one-trick pony at this point.
Yeah.
But so far, he's making it work. And I complimented Stork on his unit split earlier, but to be honest with you, right now, this is bad. He has his entire army at the natural for only 2 or 3 Roaches. His split earlier was great. The problem that he had was not having enough observers, but he made good on this already. He has enough by now. But he lost the third base because he didn't leave any units at the third, and therefore Sirius was able to get in here. And just when things were looking not too bad for Stork, because he has a huge amount of Immortals, and these Roaches don't stand a chance against Immortal, but once again he moves to the third, tries to chase the Roaches away, the second wave goes in, and attacks the natural.
Yep, Guardian Shield goes up, Stalkers blinking back here, the Immortals doing their damage. A few Stalkers kind of isolated on the right side there.
Stork is being outplayed at this point.
Yeah, he's just not splitting his units well enough. His economy is in tatters. He had a timing to move out, he was trying to hit it, but unfortunately didn't spot his opponent's Roaches coming in, then he had to turn around.
He lost a lot of Harvesters, but I actually thought that he would be okay with a good split on his units. I think he would have been able to defend not only the third, but also the natural. He had 4 to 5 Immortals already, 2 at the natural and 2 at the third base with the Sentries and the Stalkers. Should have been enough to hold the Roaches at bay. And then he can push out as soon as his defenses are set, because the only thing that Sirius had at this point were Roaches, and Roaches don't do all that well against Immortals, which we see in the ESL games all the time. But here's again a small run by, and well, it's actually not all that small.
Well, he can't retreat his probes. He made a 3-pylon wall so the Roaches couldn't get into his main base, and his probes are just going to die. He's going for another attack here, and this is not, I mean, yeah, he's going to kill a ton of Roaches here, but he can't stop the flow. And more Roaches will come until all of these units are dead. He cannot remake them because he has no money, he has no economy, down to 17 probes.
And this position that he has to force field is also not the best on the ramp. He has a better position to force field out his opponent and trap a few of these Roaches, but now he's running out of sentry energy. energy. He has a lot, but it's just not enough. And now there are only 2 Immortals left, and you can already see at the supply that we have. We have Sirius ahead with 100 supply against Stork, and this is certainly starting to look as if the Zerg player is able to claim win. Yep.
GG, you're so right. It looked that way for quite some time, but Stork held on. Sirius just slaughtered him, though, with his 3-pronged attacks. Just looking really good. Running roaches into one side, running roaches into another. There's Sirius. Hiding his expression a little bit there, but well played by him. Nice reaction to what he had shown. Stork just doing the fake, taking a fast third. His production wasn't set up 100%, and he just came with burrow movement roaches, attacking him, being very aggressive, capitalizing on that one moment where he didn't have enough production and not enough Immortals, and he was going to be spread too thin basically no matter what. And then after that we saw the splitting was decent and he was making good on what he had, but later, as you mentioned, it just got worse and worse. He had like all of his entire army for 2 roaches at the natural, and his splitting just kind of fell apart from there.
Yeah, he just ran with his entire army to the 3rd, which gave Sirius the chance to take the natural. Then he ran with everything to the natural, which Sirius exploited and took down the 3rd base, and had always a few units ready for a run by. So in the beginning, Stork playing really well, but later on he completely fell apart.
Yeah, well, I think that it's going to be a tough second game for him. I don't even know what map it is yet. It could potentially be Entombed Valley. That would be something he might be happy about. And it is going to be Ohana, actually, as it's just put on screen there. We'll see what Stork can pull out here. He was able to beat Aphrodite, which is not really a tough opponent for him compared to Sirius, but Sirius looking really good in game number 2, capitalizing on the risky play that Stork showed. Let's jump into game number 2.